guys, and welcome back to my channel. Isn't a coffee sometimes just the best thing ever? So I think it's my first time on here since I've had a little bit of stubble, and I feel like a dad. You know, when you get dads, I mean mine was like this, where it's kind of like, oh, I'm too busy to shave, so I just always have a bit of stubble. I feel a bit like that. I feel like I look a bit run down and knackered, but a few people said to me on Instagram when I popped a selfie up yesterday that it looked nice, so you know, I'm gonna let it grow out for a while. Someone told me I need to leave it for like 4 weeks to thicken up, so yeah, we'll give it a go and see how it looks. But I am getting a haircut tomorrow just to tidy up, so that might make me look a little bit fresher. It's going to be a bit of a random vlog today. I've got lots of things to crack on with around the house, and I'm also working with John Lewis on Instagram, YouTube and TikTok, which is really exciting, and yeah, I feel very lucky to be able to be doing that. But I want to pop to John Lewis just to pick up a few more accessories for the study upstairs, and whilst I'm there I thought I'd check out a couple of other shops that are nearby, because I know there's a HomeSense and a Dunelm nearby, and I'm trying to be a bit more resourceful with everything that's kind of going on at the moment with the cost of living crisis. I know a lot of people won't want to hear that, but I'm just trying to be mindful of giving kind of different price ranges of home decor. I myself am going to have to cut back quite a lot this year. Our mortgage rate has gone up a lot, so every month our payments have gone up massively. Obviously I work for myself, so that's kind of difficult to manage, and Mikey does as well. So yeah, gonna try and be making a few different cutbacks. So I thought it would be good to kind of show you guys where you can get some more affordable alternatives to some of those luxury brands that we all know and love. So I'm just having my coffee and doing a few emails and stuff, but then we will head off to the shops and have a little mooch, and then come back and do a few jobs, and I'll show you guys what I got. So I'm in the car just outside of, well, there's Loaf there, HomeSense behind me, TK Maxx, and then there's a Dunelm and B&M? God, B&M over there. And I've actually had a quick flip change. This was going to be quite a random vlog, but I've decided it's going to be a get the house ready for autumn with me. I have been meaning to do it for ages, and all I've done so far is put some stems up, so not very good home decor vlogger Instagram person. So I'm going to do that today, and I'll take you around all of the different shops with me. I'm going to try and do it as affordably as I can, and also get stuff that can last throughout autumn, hopefully the winter, and also can be brought out next year. So we'll do that, and then we'll get to styling the cottage with you. And yeah, I'm going to pop over to John Lewis as well. If anyone is local to Bath or Bristol, I've come to the Mall at Cribbs Causeway, which I used to come to when I was a lot younger, so it always reminds me of coming with my mum or my childminder or my nanny, my grandparents, or yeah, any of those people. I won't go into all of my old childhood tales because I was a bit of a terror. Right, I'm gonna start with HomeSense, I think. Right, I am just finished in HomeSense. God, my voice sounds so husky. I think I've got a bit of a cold coming on. So I did pick up a few bits, not too autumnal themed, but definitely warm in colour, which I'm really excited to show you when I get home. But I'm now going to pop over to Dunelm and then to John Lewis and the White Company, and just a few shops over at the Mall. Then on my way back I'm gonna go via Aldi and maybe Sainsbury's to try and get a few small pumpkins that I can use in some styling, and maybe a few stems as well. And then when we get home I'll show you everything I got and do a bit of an install day, probably part one, because I imagine it will take a while, so I might need to carry that on into the next vlog as well. But yeah, we'll show you the next shop. Okay, that is another shop done, and a few good pieces actually in there I think that you guys will like. I'll show you them properly when I get home, but one is kind of all year round for storage, and the other is some of the best stems I've actually seen for autumn this year, and for a really affordable price. So if you want to see what those are, keep watching or check down below and I'll try and link them if I can find them on the website. Right, gonna head to John Lewis, the White Company, and probably M&S as well now. Okay, so I am back home from shopping and I actually picked up some really nice things. I didn't have too much luck in the mall itself, but I did get quite a few bits from HomeSense and from Dunelm, which are perfect for autumn. And then I think I'll do another online order with some more autumn winter transitional pieces, just so that I can slowly build on everything, because I didn't get too much. So starting with HomeSense, the first thing that I picked up was this candle, which I absolutely love. The fragrance of it is saddle and cardamom, which is actually really interesting and something I've not smelt before. So interested in that, and to see how well it burns as well, because I haven't had a candle from HomeSense for a long time. So yeah, looking forward to giving that a go. I really love this kind of leather band with the gold details as well, and the price of it was £9.99, and I have seen similar online for more like 20 quid, so thought that was really nice. And when it was finished with the wax, I mean, you could just pop a tea light in there and it would make a really cute accessory on a side or on a windowsill or something like that. The next thing I got was actually in clearance, so really happy with that. You know, it always feels really good when you pick up something that's discounted. I don't know why that is. Do you think it's just like a human thing that as soon as you see a red sticker on something you feel like you have to buy it, even if you don't like it? I do actually like this though. So I picked up this frame, which I actually thought was wood with marble interior, but it seems like it's all just stone. It's a really good price at just £11, so really happy with that. I'm not sure how much it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be £20, I've just peeled the sticker off. So yeah, very happy with that, and it feels quite luxe. It's got a black velvet back, so I think I will do some photo printing over the next week or so and pop a nice photo in there. I also picked up another photo frame, again with a stone finish, but this time kind of in like a checkerboard design, but something a bit more simple, which I thought would again look really lovely on a console, maybe in the living room, because it has those kind of dark and light colours that are in that space. Again, I will print some photos and pop some in here. I thought this could also look quite nice in the new study, which I'm not sure if you'll have seen yet by the time you're watching this. But this one was £14.99, so not the cheapest frame ever, but for the material, it feels really heavy. I don't think that's a bad price. I'd actually be really interested to know where you guys shop for homeware, if you have any brands that I should try. Obviously, we are in a cost of living crisis at the moment, which I know everyone is feeling. Any affordable homeware brands you have, I'd love to know, because I'd love to share them on here as well, because it can be quite tricky sometimes to find brands that do really nice things for a lower price, so I'm definitely going to be on the hunt for that. The next thing that we got, which I actually thought was a really good price, is this Ralph Lauren lamp. So I've already got one Ralph Lauren lamp from HomeSense in the living room, but I just loved the warmth of this yellow gold. I thought it was really pretty. Had that kind of modern, colonial, traditional, country, everything mushed into one vibe that I really love. And the price was £49.99, so I don't know if that is crazy expensive, but I have looked at these before from other brands that were more like £200, so it's something I've wanted for a while, this shape of light, and I'm really happy that I managed to get it, basically. Yeah, love it. I'm annoyed that I can't link it, because HomeSense is obviously one of those places that you can never guarantee getting the same thing, but definitely check out your local HomeSense if you do like that, because there were two in the one that I went to. Last thing I got from HomeSense was just some dog treats for Ziggy. I've said it before, but they do sell treats that are pancreatitis friendly, so I often pick up a packet of treats whenever I'm there. Moving on to Dunelm, I only got a few things from here, but I was so surprised by some of the items, and I wish I could have stayed and could have bought more, but I had to get back for the dogs. But here's what I got. So I picked up these stems. They are gypsophilia, apparently, but they don't look like gypsophilia to me. Let me try and show you if it focuses. So they're a rust colour, but they're actually really, really realistic looking. Really, really realistic looking. But I thought they would look really cute, either one on its own in like a small terracotta vase or a pot or something, like on a bookcase. Obviously it would have to be cut or folded. Or the three of them in a taller vase on the side, I thought might look nice. Or again in like a small bunch on a coffee table or something in a nice pot, I thought would look nice. And the best thing about these stems, they were only £5 each, which I think is a bargain, because faux stems obviously last a lifetime, and as much as I would rather buy real every week if I could, I just can't, and I know a lot of you won't be able to either. Preserved stems like these are definitely a good way to go, but if you want something that you can keep year on, year round, then go for something like that. And then the next thing that I got from Dunelm is this seagrass storage basket. So again, not necessarily autumn, but I do think adding these kind of textures into your home throughout the chillier seasons and year round is never a bad thing. It always adds the kind of appearance of warmth and coziness, and this really large basket was only £30, and I thought it would be perfect for either the bottom of a console if you have a 2-tier one, or I think I'm going to pop it in the study on top of my little storage cabinet that I have in there. So I'll show you guys that when I've got it all up. That was everything I got. I'm going to put it out in the house now, I think, but before I do that, I'm quickly going to pop to the supermarket, get some ingredients for dinner, and also pick up pumpkins like I mentioned earlier. I have seen some people on Instagram saying that Aldi sell quite a few, so I'm going to try there and see what I can get, and then we'll put everything out into the house with you guys and hopefully end the evening with a nice hearty autumnal dish and a very autumnal house and lots of candles lit. So I'll give kind of styling tips as and when I go, probably try and record a few TikToks and Instagrams as well whilst I'm doing it, although it is getting very dark in the cottage at this time of year and it's gone 3 o'clock, so I better crack on. Hello! I've just come back from the supermarket and it's gone really dark outside, so I'm not going to be able to style the house today, unfortunately, so that will still be in this vlog, but it will just be tomorrow morning, so you guys won't know any difference. But I'll quickly show you what I picked up from the supermarket now, and then I'm going to crack on with making dinner, for which I'm going to share the recipe on TikTok. So, no, TikTok? My blog. I'm going to make a nice butternut squash soup, which we make all the time. It has a really good kick to it, so very good for anyone who might have a cold situation like me. So if you want to see that, check out my blog, which is tobyshome.com, and you'll see the recipe over there, hopefully. It should be going up this Sunday, so I think a few days before you watch this. Other things I picked up though were some tomatoes, some yogurts, more yogurts, a few just boring ingredients. I got some sweets, a few things like that, some body wash. We never really shop at Aldi, so I like going in there because it feels quite different. I used to hate it. I used to find it like a really annoying shopping experience, but they've definitely upped their game. I got some sourdough to have with the soup, some oat milk, which Aldi I think have only started doing quite recently. And then in terms of Halloween decor, they were actually really limited. People had told me that there were quite a lot there, whether I'm too late or or what, I'm not sure, but I did pick up this pumpkin, which I thought was cute. I think it was like 70p, and then these two mini ones are about 70p as well. And I think what I'm gonna do is, this one I'm gonna leave, but these I might actually, well, I'm not 100% sure, but I might give them a little paint this evening, just to like a more neutral colour, even just like a whitewash. I don't know how that'll work, but so that I can kind of pop them on the sides, because I know all of the ceramic pumpkins that you see online sell out like 3 months ago, so I thought this would be a good alternative for any late decorators like me. So yeah, we'll give that a go. But other than that, I'm just gonna crack on and make my dinner, and then we'll get to the styling tomorrow morning. Very annoying, but I've got quite a lot of work to crack on with, so not all bad. Catch up later, guys. Good morning. So I'm back and ready to style up the house for autumn. It's actually been a bit of a traumatic evening because Ziggy was really unwell. If you follow me on Instagram, you might remember when that was, like a week or so ago. He is still in the vets at the moment, so I'm just gonna kind of crack on and keep myself distracted and get on with some other things, put out all of the new purchases, and yeah, just get the house ready for autumn, at least in the areas that are kind of ready to be styled. As always, nowhere is finished. Our kitchen has kind of been taken apart a bit. Our carpenter's gonna come next week to fix all of that. We're still waiting on some furniture for the living dining room, which I'm in now, and then upstairs I'm pretty much gonna leave because I'm waiting on bits for all of those rooms. So we'll do that in another video, and it'll be more just autumn decor. So yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so I'm gonna start in the kitchen before moving on to the living and dining room, just because I think it's easier. I've recently tidied, so there's not too much clutter. This afternoon, which is actually going to be the start of a new vlog because otherwise it's too long, I am going to finally be hanging these hooks, which I've mentioned for ages, but I'll style it up now anyway and then can kind of pull things away. So I'm thinking I'm just going to keep the table really simple. Let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see that a bit better, but basically we use this tray usually to keep like placemats, all of that kind of stuff on, but we recently have gotten some new cloth placemats so to use in the kitchen. So I'm just going to give this tray a good wipe. In case anyone is interested, the spray I use in my kitchen is the rhubarb method spray. It's literally my favourite. So sorry guys, I can just see Stormy over in the background humping, which is the first time she's done it. Let me try and film it. I got a tiny bit of footage, but she is camera shy, so she sat in her little playpen up there, and yeah, she just keeps going for it. God, she's very young to get the urge. Anyway, so I've got this bowl which you will have seen in a previous video from Fox and Bow. It's a seagrass bowl which I really, really love. I'm going to pop that on here, and then I'm actually going to use the two placemats because we only have 2 spaces on our like island peninsula. I'm going to fold them and have them draping out the side, just like that, to add a nice bit of texture. And then it means that they're quite practical to grab. We don't eat here all the time, but probably I have lunch here. And guys, one sec, Mikey's just calling with a Ziggy update. Hello. Yeah, you okay? What's happened? Here he is, guys. He's just been crying. God, they are honestly such a worry, aren't they? Anyone who's thinking about getting a dog now, don't. No, do. It's literally the best thing we've ever done, but he has just come back from the vet. Mikey took him because, it sounds really silly, but I get really emotional going to the vet. I think we've had a pet put down before, and yeah, it's not very nice. So But yeah, he's come back. You might be able to tell his eye on this side has started to like close up a bit. So he's got some drops for that. And then the choking, we took some videos in the night, which were pretty horrible, otherwise I would show them here. But they think he has just quite an extreme case of kennel cough. And he also, because he suffers with his stomach and stuff, he's not really eating anything. Sorry guys. Hello?
Hi, sorry.
So sorry about that, guys. Mikey was just calling me as he's had to leave for work now. Yeah, so he's got quite a bad case of kennel cough. They're not sure where he caught it from because Stormy seems fine. Could just be because she's younger and her immune system's better. Not really sure, but he's not very well from it. His eyes are starting to like swell and close. So we've got drops for those. We've got a medicine that he takes via his throat, like a liquid, and then tablets as well. So hopefully he should be better in about 10 days. He is just like coughing loads again, so just trying to keep him near. But yeah, it has mean we've had to cancel some of our plans for the weekend, which is a shame. Obviously, we just want to make sure that he gets better, so we want to stay with him, and we need to keep him and Ziggy separate now, or him and any dog separate, which is difficult because he was going to be staying with my mum, so she has a dog as well, so we don't want her to get poorly. So yeah, that's the Ziggy update, but I'm going to put him to bed now just to sleep it off, and I'll keep checking on him, but we'll carry on with the styling. So I have draped the two placemats over here, which are obviously quite practical as well. And then I'm going to use these pumpkins that I got yesterday. I was thinking about painting them, but honestly, I think it's best to leave them in their natural state. So I'm just going to place those in this bowl. Oh, if they decide to stay up. And then I might try and add another one as the season goes on. But I think that looks nice as it is, just something really simple. I'll obviously clear all of the clutter, and then it's a really, really easy display to kind of keep there. So over here I'm just going to have a bit of a declutter. I've got some of Ziggy's medicine there, and then my coffee cup, which will go away. This speaker I really recommend. This is a Sonos Roam. They are perfect for hosting seasons because you can just pick them up and move them. So we'll often take it into the dining area. Even though we do have a speaker there, it just gives noise kind of all round because you can link all of your Sonos devices up. It sounds like I'm advertising for Sonos, I swear I'm not. I will link it down below in case anyone is interested. But I'm going to move this to be here just next to the KitchenAid because I just think that's a better way of kind of masking some of the less attractive cables, because even though it doesn't need to be plugged in all the time, I like to just keep it plugged on so that I know it's always got battery when I want to use it. Okay, you'll have to ignore the lights hanging in the way. Oh, now I've touched it, it's going to be wobbling. But I'm going to have a bit of a shuffle around with this area. I think kind of pare it back, but add a few more earthy autumnal colours to the mix. So I've just pulled out this old pot which I got from Neptune. It was actually damaged, so the side has fully fallen off, so I glued it back on, but I got it for literally I think like £4 because of that. So yeah, it was really affordable. So I'm going to add that because I think those like warm yellowy colours are really lovely for the autumn. And in here, because it's white, I think it can take those yellow and orange leaves and pumpkins, those kind of things. And that probably will change as we go into the winter for more red colours. But for now, I'm pretty happy to be adding yellow into the mix. So this area is really practical. I have a utensil jar which is from Dalesford. I've got this Zara, what's it called? Spoon holder for when you're cooking, which is pretty ruined. All of the like enamel's come off, so it looks really dirty. So I'm actually going to try and order a new one of those now. I've had that for about a year. But that's actually got me thinking, whilst I'm doing all of this styling, I'm going to write a list. So, things I'd like. I'm just going to start writing a list of some of the pieces that I think would be useful to have in the house, or that I feel we're missing, just so that when it comes to doing an online order or a homeware haul for you guys, I can make sure I include those pieces, just so that I'm improving our house and making it more practical whilst bringing content for my channel as well. This lamp does work quite well. It's a wireless one, so again it's handy because it can be moved if needed. I would actually, the light I showed you earlier in this video from HomeSense, the gold one, I wouldn't mind having something like that on the other side. But I really do want to keep that one for the living room, because at the moment I've got quite a large ceramic shaded light on a console behind the sofa, which is the partition between the two zones. And it is quite big, I'd say. So yeah, I think maybe something more subtle there would work. So at the moment I think I'm going to leave this side as is. Up here I just want to pare things back a bit. I know there's not too much going on, but I have got these small copper spoons that are measuring cups, so they could be quite nice on there just to add like a little bit of warmth and variation in size. So they've still got labels on, though I do use them. Unpopular opinion, but I keep this out all the time because I use it near enough every day. Although saying that, I have been using it a lot less since I've become veggie, because I'm roasting a lot more now. So maybe I will put it away. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go back on myself. I'm gonna put it away. Okay, so again, that kind of simplifies things a bit. Let's get rid of the charger. This is definitely the area with the most clutter in the kitchen, which I do think needs to be pared back quite a lot. I've got quite a lot of things out, just like coarse sea salt. So I'm thinking I will fill up the salt and pepper shaker and then I can put that away, which will be good. These salt and pepper shakers are Le Creuset, but I think from the White Company. I got them a while ago, but I really love them. They're just very nice. This is the kind of look, not that I'm going to go for. So I've moved this over so that it's covering the plug. I'm actually going to, next to that, pop some kitchen roll. I've got a really nice holder from Zara, so I'm going to pop that there because I use it all the time to wipe down the steaming wand and also the coffee grinder. So that's actually really practical to have there. And just if there's any spillages, I can quickly wipe that up. And then I've got my mug that I use every day just right there, so that's good. And then that will go there with the jug, the milk jug as well. So now I'm gonna style the bookcases down below. I'm just gonna remove some of the blue books, and we'll show you my tip for kind of masking books that you're not sure you want on display. So it's a bit of a weird angle, and I'm not going to talk through everything too much, but I'm going to organise under here. I'm going to just move some of the blue coloured books to the side, just to kind of keep with the brown, warmer aesthetic at the top, and then I'm going to use this vase, just pop it in there, which I'm then actually going to put, I think, a few like storage things in that I use quite often, like string, pen, like those kind of things, like little plastic bags and stuff, and just pop that there. And then I've also got loads of recipes that I've collected from Waitrose and other shops that I'm going to sort through probably in another video when I'm like organising the house and that accessories cupboard I mentioned. So we'll get those out and ready to organise into like a folder or something. I'm actually going to swap the books over so that the books are at the bottom and then the vase, if it fits, which yeah it should, is going to go at the top, just because naturally the books are heavier, so I think it makes more sense visually for them to be on the bottom. Okay, so if you have any books that you kind of want to keep a bit hidden, if you're not 100% sure on the spine, I know that sounds really silly, but if you love interiors like me, that might be something you've thought about. I tend to just literally flip it the other way, and there you can see it kind of sticks in with the colour palette that I have, and you wouldn't notice as long as all of your books aren't like that. I know some people flip all of their books that way. I've got loads of alcohol back there, that's extra supplies. And then I will keep my trivets and my scales just in the side there, because I use those quite often. And then hopefully I think that fits perfectly. It gives a nice little hint of yellow, and then I've got my chopping board there just because I use that one all the time, and it keeps it looking like a book really, but neat and organised, and yeah, you wouldn't know otherwise. Let me step back to show you guys better. Okay, so ignore the mess just on the side here. But there's how it's looking now, which I think you'll agree is a massive, massive improvement. It just feels way less cluttered, but the colours reflect the new season. Yeah, so really happy with that. Okay guys, so moving on to the living room, I'm just going to add a few simple touches. Ziggy's asleep on the sofa, so I was going to do all of the cushions and stuff, but that will have to be in a separate video because I don't want to disturb him. But I'm going to add a few different things, like I've got these Queen Anne's lace, which this is a faux stem from Neptune from a while ago. I've rolled the wire base and I'm just going to pop it into a terracotta jug that I was using as a bookend. So just by popping that there, I think that adds a really nice, like, subtle autumn touch without being too fussy. Hopefully you can see that okay, but I'll show you properly a bit later. I think just doing things like that, I have already done this fairly recently, so I'm not going to restyle all of the shelves, but slowly I will add new pieces onto them in time. You might remember this box that I got a while ago as well. I think I'm actually going to use this to go on the shelves. Potentially just there, I think looks quite nice. Sometimes good to just step back. Yeah, I think that adds a nice amount of warmth. And then I'll use this little dish from Zara. This was in the sale for half price. I think it was about £10. I'm just going to pop on that white book again to add a little bit of texture, because if you're not into doing autumn in like a here's loads of pumpkins, here's blah blah blah, I think it's a really good idea to just add subtle pieces of texture throughout your home, just to kind of give the impression of warmth and coziness, if that makes sense. Okay, so you'll probably remember, because it was in this video, but I got these stems from Dunelm for £5 each. So I'm going to take all of the labels off and then figure out where to put them. So I hold the stems kind of how I want them to look. I can obviously shift them later, and I just normally grab them here and then just bend up to roughly the height that I want. And then so to keep them in place, if you kind of think about the width of the bottom of the vase, so measure it across, and then I normally just fold them up into a triangle, so this sort of shape. And then you can always stuff the vase out later, but it means that when you put them in, they're standing upright straight away. So then I can just shuffle around with them, play with them, and get it exactly right in the space. Guys, so I actually switched it up and I popped the stems in this Studio McGee vase that I bought back from America because I thought the warmer colours were picked up better than the black, and I popped the black down there just to give something subtle. And then also the seagrass basket from Dunelm, which I think I'm going to pop all of this kind of stuff in. So I buy overflow cards whenever I go shopping and I see some that I like, just to have them in case I'm running behind and I don't have time to go to the shop. So yeah, I might put stuff like that in the basket. Ignore this fallen lamp. It's because I've just been testing the gold lamp going here, and I'm actually about to pick up, oh look at Ziggy. Guys, makes me so sad. I'm just about to pick up a small side table, which I think might sit here nicely and be the right height to have that kind of peering over the sofa. And yeah, pretty happy with how that's looking. Hello! I'm now going to move on to the coffee table and just kind of show you how I'm going to style that. I always like to start styling the coffee table with a couple of large bases. So I've got this large linen photo album, and then this one here. So this is just a really big coffee table book that I bought years ago. It was only £3 from a charity shop. So yeah, I used those, and then let's find something else. I've got a few interior magazines here, which I think should fit. Yeah, that fits nicely. Okay, so I think it's always good working in threes. So those will be the base for styling. And then on top of that, I'm just going to pop some stacks of other books that I think will work, just that are quite neutral in colour, that can just kind of be picked up if people want to read them, if there's that here. That's one of our wedding albums, so I like keeping that out in case anyone asks to see. Let me show you actually, this is really fun. So this is a guest book that we had at the wedding. So on the night we had a photo booth. So there's one of me and Mikey and then one of my friends. And then we had people take photos and then write messages. So the whole book is full of these drunken messages from our friends and family, which, yeah, it just goes on and on and on, which is really nice. Some of them are really funny. So pleased to be here. Fab, Toby, Mikey, fab day. My lovely grandson and grandson-in-law. That's cute, that's my grandma. Who got married? Beth and Jess. Here's to never posting a pants down selfie. Oh, there's a rude one. And then I've got a few smaller things as well. This is actually a linen box from Zara, but me and Mikey have loads of date nights in there, so an idea if anyone's looking for a nice homemade present. So I'm gonna pop that one on here as well, and then I've got some matches from Dalesford which I use to light my candles, obviously, so those can sit on that one as well. Right, there we go. So that is how the space is looking. Just really simple stacked arrangements, and I think you can imagine the fire being on and it feeling really cozy. I obviously still need some stems for that, and this footstool is going, so it's just going to be that one, so it will be much simpler, but I think that feels really nice and collected and works with the vibe of the rest of the room as well. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and round off that vlog there. I've still got a little bit more styling to do, but I'll show you all of that over on Instagram. I need to take some time and give Ziggy his medicine and care for him, and I also need to pop out to work on a project. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video and got a few ideas for styling your home for autumn and winter. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, it means a lot, and also subscribe to my channel, I really do appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!